What is up, fellow bench warmers? Welcome to your daily fantasy quickie. Hey guys, it's the weekend quickie. Hope you guys are having a good weekend this week. Not just in fantasy, but in real life weekend. Today we started earlier, recorded earlier, and hopefully we'll be able to release earlier. I'm your host JJT with Commish.
Yes, guys.
It's
Hi.
rest day for a lot of. It's pretty much the weekend for a lot of NBA players today. Lots of big name players resting or out, possibly due to injury or minor injuries. I mean, if you look at it, Jokic was out, Steph was out. That's pretty much your top two.
Top three with KD.
Top three. If you talk about KD, also out. Luka. Did Luka play?
No, he didn't play. So I mean, a lot of first rounders were out, and I'm really irritated already with my fantasy teams. I'm being demolished left and right. Not a good year for me so far. So because I own Jokic, I own Curry, and it's not helped me today, especially Curry, because
I needed Curry as well in a lot of
teams. My schedule of my teams there not that good already to begin with, and not having Curry really compounded everything. So hope he plays the next game though.
When's the next game? Is it Monday here in Manila?
Monday.
Right,
we talked about the Warriors schedule this week, right? And we said it's a good schedule, good four-game schedule. But I really saw the Detroit. Not sure if Toronto is the next game, but I did see that this Detroit game was a possible rest day for their stars. I mean, Draymond did not play either.
Yeah.
For some thigh contusion. The one
they still won, right?
They won over Detroit, but as I said, they're inventing. I mean, I'm not saying they're inventing injuries out of thin air, but they would just pick up an injury that somebody suffered maybe days ago, weeks ago, and said that it's still bothering him. We're gonna rest him. So
it's the norm in the NBA.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not just with Golden State. It's pretty much every team has done it, right?
Yes.
Players. I mean, Jokic suddenly is out today, although I'm not sure if it's a serious injury or
that's a legit injury. I don't think Denver has the luxury of resting their players. And they were against Chicago, I think, today.
Yeah.
So it's not a weak team. Last game, Jokic banged his wrist, and then he was pulled out after making a free throw late in the game, and then he went straight to the locker room, and then was holding his wrist. So it was a sprained wrist. I don't know how long he will be out, but I do not think it's a long-term thing. I think maybe they just wanted him to rest since it's a back-to-back also today. So hopefully he'll be back the next game. Also, Kevin Durant's injury is also a legit injury.
It's a shoulder. It's a shoulder injury.
Sprained shoulder, but I think he can play through that injury. They were against Orlando today, so again, a winnable game and an easier game for them. So they probably decided to rest him. They won even without him. So the guy that I'm most worried about would probably be Jokic and the wrist, because that's a legit injury, and today wasn't a rest kind of an injury day for him. That's the one.
Just to put in context, Kevin Durant has had that shoulder injury
for
a few games now, or for a lot of games now, and he's just playing through it. We all know Steph about the hip injury that he had. He played through it yesterday. Played well. So at least there's this, comfort that they can play through it. It's just that they pick the games wherein they rest, and usually it's against the weaker teams that they rest their players just to give them some extra time off. So other players, and on top of those players who rested today, some injury updates. Colin Sexton out for the season. We already felt that he was a drop when he got the injury, but now everything's confirmed.
And we mentioned about the possibility of him being out for the season if he gets surgery, he's out for the season. We mentioned that when he got injured.
And he did get injury. We haven't talked about Luka. I wasn't aware he didn't play today. What's the injury update on Luka?
It's a ankle sprain, but they also put knee sprain. During the injury, they said it was an ankle and knee sprain at the same time, but they said it wasn't. The MRIs were clean. It wasn't a serious injury. So, but I think he's gonna miss a couple more. He was doubtful today. He was not even questionable. So I think maybe this whole week might not be the week for him. Maybe next week he'll be back next week. It's not a long term. It's not a month injury or something. But for this week, I don't think he's coming back.
All right. And other players who could be out, Anthony Melton tomorrow will be out. So that's one update there. It seems like, the next two players I'm going to mention, Anthony Melton and the other player I'm going to mention are both, trending down already. Just because of their poor play in the past few games. Well, Isaiah Stewart is the other guy. He actually was a little trend up before today's game, right? He had a double-figure rebounds in 2 straight games. Today, he got injured, so that dampens his outlook once again.
And it wasn't it didn't look good. The injury was a bad sprain. But as I was talking to someone about it, and I said, we will find out if he is a fast healer or not with this injury, because it didn't look good. But I said his body is so, so big and everything. So maybe, he can play through it, but I do not think he'll be playing the next game for sure. I'll be shocked if he does play the next game. The question now is, what does Detroit do? They don't have Olynyk. They now doesn't have Stewart.
Yeah.
Who will they start at center? Will it be the rookie Luka Garza, or will it be Trey Lyles? So
my guess is they'll probably start Trey Lyles. I don't think both would be very fantasy relevant. I think the usage will be spread out, although there's really not much usage to spread out because it's Isaiah Stewart, right? All he does there should be rebounding, and also maybe Jeremy Grant gets a few more rebounds here and there.
Yes, I agree. Jeremy Grant would probably get a boost. I do think Garza will start, not play a lot of minutes. Just, you know what coaches do? They start somebody who's the third string, just so that the second string center would still be the second, will still come off the bench, so you don't have to change the rotation as much. I think Lyles will play more minutes, even if he doesn't start, or if he starts, I don't know what happens, but he will be the one who gets more minutes. But yeah, Jeremy's correct. Unless you're probably in a 20 teams, 18 team league, maybe Trey Lyles is someone to consider. Luka Garza actually is not bad. He's not
one
bad
of the
player.
He was the guy from Purdue, right?
We see Purdue. Possibly Purdue.
I think I saw some highlights even before the season about him scoring a lot. I mean, he is a scorer for a center.
He's the National Player of the Year in college, a 4-year senior. He's one of those, seniors who really good in college. But when you go to the NBA, it's a totally different thing because he's an athletic. He's not really that strong, but he's a very skilled player. He can shoot. He can score, as Jeremy said. So if he gets a chance, I think there's a possibility here. He can have a good big game the next game, and people will be talking about him all of a sudden. That's not out of the possibility because he's a pretty talented player. He's just not athletic or strong enough, really. I mean, he's the white guy. So
we might be surprised. I mean, Isaiah Stewart has been the athletic guy out there and hasn't really performed as well. So we'll see. And there's something about 4-year players, right? 4-year senior players from college that are more mature and ready for usually the NBA game. So we'll see. And we're not saying he's a quick add for a 14 team. Maybe just a watch, at least for now.
A stream at the very least. If Stewart is labeled out the next game, you can stream Garza and see where it goes.
Yep.
You will not lose anything. Devontae Graham is also out, by the way. He didn't play today. Again, another player trending in the wrong direction. Same with the other two, and then he's injured also.
Lots of players didn't play today. I mean, I have some teams who are in pretty much everyone is either an O or an INJ status. Really bad. And it happens. Let's just hope it doesn't happen to us. But Even if it did, well, you just have to push through it. And like we said, if you are struggling, if you are not far off, there might be some stats there that you could still win, and maybe try to focus on those without dropping any very valued player, right? Let's talk about some trending down players or teams, I guess. The Kings and the Pacers, Commish mentioned. The Kings have, I think we are getting to the point where everyone wants Luke Walton out.
He will be out. I am just waiting for the news that he will be fired anytime soon. They were down 30 something points at home today against Toronto, who's not even like the top team or a top team. I mean, Toronto is good, but not a sure playoff team. So to be down 30 something and the players are going through the motion, it's just a matter of time. But it's bad for us who own Kings players. I have 3 Kings players in one team in one of our leagues. So it's tough because, let's say, for instance, the player for me that's really been having problems with the rotation is Richaun Holmes.
Yeah.
We talked about him. He was so good at the beginning, but now he's back to the 30s to the 50s in the rankings, and he has not played well. And offense, he's just basically a guy who just gives screen, and he's outside. He's just outside, and it's not helping him at all. And you can see in his face, he's very frustrated. He's very frustrated.
Well, I think everyone in the Kings side is very frustrated with how they've been playing. Fox hasn't really gotten it going. I think
something's off with Fox, though.
The most consistent there could be Hield. Still gives you the threes somehow. I mean, not what you want maybe, but at least there's you still get what you need from him. Like, you don't really need much from Buddy Hield except for the threes.
In fairness to Buddy Hield, he's number 1 in 3 points made this year over Steph and over Seth and over the other players we've been talking about. So, but he's also shooting way, way worse than they are.
Well, yeah, true. But do you expect him to shoot well?
I just want him.
Really expect
I want him to
give me.
Well. I want him to give me 4 or 5 3-pointers a game. But this week, he has given me, I think, 5 or 6. That's not bad. But he has shot 8 out of 30 something.
He hasn't shot well.
Really bad, and he has not done much else. And when you watch him, he just keeps on chucking those 3-pointers, and really looked bad.
Yeah.
He really looked bad today. He really looked bad.
Well, that's his role, to just chuck up those 3-pointers.
Yes.
Maybe Tyrese is playing a little better.
He's also slumping though. Tyrese is also slumping.
Offensively, he's still slumping, but at least he can give you the other stats that, the steals, some assists here and there. I mean, not the ones that you want really when you drafted.
Harrison Barnes is also another player.
Well, we all know Harrison Barnes could, drop off after the hot start, right? I mean, no one really expected him to continue that hot start. But I mean, players like Haliburton, Fox, and Holmes, there are high expectations from these guys. Right? Yeah. And that's where the disappointment comes in. I mean, players like Hield and Harrison Barnes, the expectations I feel are, just met. We just met the expectations. The expectations early on was quite high that they overachieved. Now they just met our expectations, and not really hurtful in terms of your fantasy teams. But players like Fox, Haliburton, and Holmes have high expectations, right?
And if we're gonna speculate, Alvin Gentry is the assistant coach. So if they're gonna make a
switch,
we
go again with Alvin Gentry.
If we're gonna make a switch, Alvin Gentry might be the guy. Doug Christie, though, is the guy who they are rumored to be developing as their future coach. But they could make Gentry as the coach for the meantime. And just to speculate fantasy-wise, Gentry, as we know, in New Orleans and in Golden State and in Phoenix, is a very offensive-minded coach. Yeah. So if this happens, I'm very, very high on Buddy Hield for one. I mean, that would be perfect for Buddy Hield. And also maybe it will also help guys like Harrison Barnes to improve and Aaron Fox to improve. So let's wait. For sure, Richaun Holmes is a buy low for me. I'm sure his managers are kind of not too happy right now, especially a 4 or 5 game stretch where he has not done a lot. Even in rebounds, he has not rebounded well.
Yeah.
So Holmes is a buy low for me. Halliburton, if you can get him, is also a buy low. Fox is not a buy low. Again, not a buy low. And also
stay away
Harrison
from
Barnes.
Fox. Stay away.
Harrison Barnes. Stay away from Harrison Barnes. I mean, if you own him, good. Keep him. But if you don't own him and say, okay, they'll get change coach, Harrison Barnes might explode again. No. Guys, no. That's not gonna happen.
Could be a low end buy. I mean, if you need some things.
Yeah.
I mean,
possibly.
He's not. It won't cost you as much to get healed. That's for one.
What do you think it will cost? I have a healed, and I'm trying to dispose of him. I don't know who I can get for him. I've been thinking what kind of a deal I can make.
Thinking who's a hot player right now.
I'm thinking Gary Trent, but maybe I'm over. I'm over. What do you call this?
But name value wise, I think that could work.
But will you accept it if you own Trent?
Me personally, no, because I like, Trent gives a lot more than just threes, right? So
exactly.
But name value, some players would probably, probably give it a thought. It's not a automatic no for a lot. I mean,
I'm
because it's
looking
body
at
healed, right? I mean, name value, it's body healed over Gary Trent.
I'm looking at healed for Trent or healed for Norman Powell. Actually, those are the two deals I'm looking at. So and then if I don't own healed and I am looking for healed, maybe if I own Sadiq Bey, because they're very similar players. They're very similar players, but Buddy Hield I think is a better shooter. So that could be an upgrade. So you could try that. So those are
those
names.
Those players could be maybe you could try find a center maybe. I mean, if you're looking for a positional trade, right? Not just a replacement. A positional trade. I don't know if which center is kind of hot or
Wendell. I mean,
Gafford, right? Maybe.
Gafford, I was actually considering also, but the thumb, I want to wait for the update on the thumb. I just don't want to, get Gafford and then the next day they will say he's out for 2 months because of a thumb issue or something all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So let's see.
I think those.
Yeah, Gafford is okay.
Gafford maybe is an okay player to get for Hield if it's a positional thing that you're looking for. All right.
Yeah.
Another team with players slumping is the Indiana Pacers.
Yeah, lots to talk about in Indiana. Do you own any Pacer?
Malcolm Brogdon, yes.
It's the only one who's not slumping actually.
Duarte. So, I have a couple of Duarte, but of course.
What team? How many teams in your Duarte? 14?
One is a 12, one is a 14.
Have you dropped him?
No. I think one is an 18.
Okay. But in the 12, do you have him in 12-team leagues?
Yeah, I have one. In our Unboxed league.
Are you dropping him?
I have always considered dropping him, but I put a longer leash, but close. I'm very close to dropping him in the 12.
I think he's droppable. In 12-team leagues, I think
if there's someone, if there's just someone who's, better. I just feel right now in terms of the ones in the free agent pool, there's really not much with consistent playing time, I guess.
Yeah. I agree. Like for instance, I picked up Bones Highland in the 14-team league, and I owned him until today because of the schedule. Like he had some games, so I just didn't want to drop him, and then he has a game tomorrow. Just a waste of a move.
He played bad again today.
He played bad again today, but I was really gonna drop him. But this is what our point is: you don't have to drop someone just because he's playing bad. You have to think also of who you will replace him with. Like Jeremy said, in his case, Duarte, he didn't have anybody he liked in the free agent pool. So even if he wants to drop Duarte already, of course you have to look at the other side. Who will I replace him with?
Yeah.
So but it just means that for me, if there is a good replacement, Duarte is droppable already. He played 13 minutes today. So and it's not there. And then again, TJ McConnell.
TJ McConnell has been bad this year. I mean, other than the time wherein Brogdon didn't play, he hasn't really been good. And I think a part of it is because of Duarte as well. They probably are, sharing the usage, sharing the time.
But TJ last year off the bench at 20 something minutes, he was not bad. I mean, right now he's still getting 20 something minutes, but he's not producing as much as last year, which I don't know why. I also don't know why, because I guess you're correct. Only Duarte is the different player there right now. I mean, Caris was there last year, and it's a bonus.
But totally different positions, right? I mean, Duarte could play the point. He could, he's closer to the skill set of TJ McConnell. That's just my personal observation, that I feel that somehow it eats up the usage. Duarte gets some of the usage of TJ McConnell. But maybe another thing is they're struggling. I mean,
they're struggling with the system of Rick Carlisle.
Might be there, but the players he passed to are not just making shots. So that could contribute to the low assist numbers. Of course, we all know the steals has some luck into it as well. So I mean,
and we give Luke Walton a bad rep, and we keep on saying bad. I mean, about criticizing him, but Rick Carlisle has not done a good job in Indiana this year either, despite being a champion coach. He's not been that good also this year.
Well, but I think the leash is already it's already over. I mean, they've used up all the leash for Luke Walton. This is the first year of Carlisle, and players might just be struggling or adjusting to a new system that they're trying to implement. I mean, there's just some leeway in terms of having a new coach.
That's true, but he has not done well, and it has affected even Levert and Sabonis and Myles Turner. Myles Turner has suddenly become as usual.
To be fair, Myles Turner had a good stretch.
He always has good stretches.
Yeah,
last year also.
And it could just be a matter of the players really struggling.
Yeah,
I mean, he had a good stretch, so there's evidence that he can perform, right?
He can perform, but consistency is important also for us. So when he had a good stretch, I was saying probably a sell guy at that point, because of these kinds of this is how he is as a player.
Yeah,
he cannot.
Yeah, that's another thing.
Stay consistent. He just cannot. And as we said, we can understand if he's not on the offense. I mean, he doesn't score as much, he doesn't shoot well or whatever, but the rebounds and blocks are not. There are games like 6.4 1 block, and there are games where he'll have 15 rebounds and then 7 3-pointers. So I think you could sell him. You could really sell him because center, good blocks, and then he'll have good games here or there. So that's Myles. Caris LeVert, I'm worried about Caris LeVert. I don't know if you have Caris LeVert. I don't have Caris LeVert.
I have one.
I'm worried because he's killing you. He's killing you actually, and he's not helping at all. I don't think he helps you in any category. Points, 15 points a game, but what's 15 points a game? You can easily get that on the waiver wire. 30-something%, not much threes, no steals. Doesn't look healthy, doesn't look comfortable. Not a good outlook for him.
Yeah. LeVert is not really a favorite player of mine, or I just took a chance on him in one league, so we'll see what happens.
I guess you picked him late though because he was injured. So that's
I could not remember, but in that league, my team is really struggling. To win. Usually, I'm close to winning, but always lacks the killer instinct of finishing off the weak strong.
And lastly, Sabonis. We cannot not talk about Sabonis. He's shooting 67% from the free throw again this year, so that's bad. He's scoring less. We talk about Adebayo. Assist is gone. Sabonis assist is way lower than Adebayo, and he was 6-point-something assists last year.
Yeah.
Adebayo was 4 to 5, and now it's 2-point-something. Sabonis is 6-point-something last year, down to less than 2.1. But nobody's talking about Sabonis that much.
Nobody yet, but yeah.
Sabonis and Adebayo, Adebayo is playing better than Sabonis. So
yeah, right? For sure. I mean, Adebayo somehow has had really good games. It's just the assist, right? It's just the assist that we're complaining about for Bomb, and maybe the rest here and there, the injury concerns.
By the way, he's questionable again tomorrow.
Yeah. That's why that's why I said I'm worried about the players, some of these players from Miami, because they've been resting here and there, injuries here and there. So yeah, but going back to Sabonis, I don't know, man.
I'm still aiming for Sabonis with a player like I own Julius Randle. I've been trying to add Julius Randle plus another player for Sabonis. The manager hasn't said yes, but I'm trying to do. That's a deal I would do. I feel like Sabonis. I trust that Rick Carlisle will be able to fix this, whatever is wrong with Indiana. He's a champion coach. I trust the pedigree. So I trust that Sabonis would figure this out eventually. So I'm buying Sabonis if it's for the right price. There.
I suddenly just was thinking what Carlisle was in Dallas when Luka is there. And it's pretty much Luka, right? Everything revolves around Luka. And I'm thinking, because there's only one pacer who's playing well, and that's Malcolm Brogdon, who is coincidentally a point guard as well. So maybe, just my theory, maybe the system works best only for point guards, and that's fantasy-wise. Because, last year, Kristaps wasn't as good as well.
Yes.
And,
possible.
It's Carlisle's team as well.
But Carlisle also coached Dirk Nowitzki. So, I mean, he had that system. So I guess we can't say that, he couldn't build around a big man or a team where actually the team of Dirk and the Mavs are similar to this Indiana team if you look at it.
True.
Yeah. So I think there's hope. There's hope in my opinion. It is a struggle. It's an adjustment period. That's why for me in Indiana, Sabonis is a good pickup.
In fairness, I think Sabonis started well early, right?
Yeah.
Early on, he started started better. I mean, like I said, there have been stretches wherein Myles was good, Sabonis was good. It's just the consistency that we want, right? And we haven't gotten it yet. And the only consistent player there is Brogdon, who, he has been injured here and there as well. So
he's playing 40 minutes a game.
The consistency is really what we want. And,
yes.
And of course, that's what we ask for. We're pretty sure that at one point they'll be able to get back to performing levels. We're just not sure when that is, and we just hope it's sooner rather than later. Other players who are worry players, Drew Holiday, still struggling.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I know
if
you
it's
have
the
lots
injury.
of Drew. I know you have lots of Drew Holidays.
I think not really a lot, but I think I have a couple of Drew.
But you like him?
Yeah, I was just offered Drew for DeJounte. I considered it for a bit, but no.
Drew for DeJounte, no. And not this
year.
We
talked about this, right?
We talked about it, yeah.
DeJounte and Drew.
I don't know. You're correct. I don't know if it's the fatigue. It's from the injury.
Could be the injury.
I don't know. Or age, possibly also. But he's shooting really poorly this year. The steals are still there, though. The steals are there. And he's not really a high assist point guard. That's one thing you have to remember with Drew. He doesn't give you 8 or 9. He never gave you 8 or 9 assists. That's why he's never...
I think he doesn't give it to you consistently. But there would be games wherein, assists are high, but not consistently. Like, he's not the Lowry type of player who could give you 10 or 9 assists every game.
That's definitely... He usually averages 5 to 6, which is what he's averaging right now.
Yeah.
So the only area where I think he can improve is the scoring. He's 13 point something and
the 30 something percent.
The field goal. If his field goal goes up to 43-44%, he'll be automatically 17 to 18 points. Then possibly he'll be back to around the 50 range, 49 to 50, around those area. But if you're expecting a top 40 performance this year or top 30, I don't think he'll reach there.
Yeah. Is he a buy low? No.
Yeah, for me, yes. Not DeJounte. DeJounte is not a buy low.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
if you can get him for, I don't know. Garland is not a buy low. Garland, I would probably be close for me. I might go with Garland there also. I might go with Garland.
Without
so
Sexton,
lower.
I think Garland would have very good value there in Cleveland.
Gary Trent, maybe something to consider.
Gary Trent +1. I don't think that will pass, man. I don't think that.
Trent, no. I mean, as I said, okay, who will end up higher this season when the season ends per game? Let's not talk totals per game. Drew or Gary Trent? I think this could be our Kevin Love moment again.
I can
you
see
go
where
Drew.
I'll
go Gary Trent. I think Trent can finish higher.
All right, I'll go Drew.
This is
you go Gary Trent.
I have to have some handicap.
No way.
Okay. I'll go Gary Trent. I'll go Gary Trent.
But
per game, we're talking about per game.
The averages. Yeah. But I can see where you're coming from. I mean, I can see how Gary Trent can eventually.
Loser has to pick Kevin Love next year.
All right, Kevin Love deal. The yearly Kevin Love deal.
The yearly Kevin Love deal.
All right, so yeah,
okay.
Drew Holiday, a buy low, but let's see if he is buy lower than Gary Trent or no. Who else? SGA, another point guard, struggling so far.
I don't know what to do with SGA right now. I don't know.
Okay, I have one SGA, and he's one of those players that's really hard to sell as well because of the end of season risk of him not playing, right? Very hard to trade.
Somebody said that because OKC is 5-10, 5 wins 9 loss or 5 wins 10 loss, so it's not that bad.
Yeah,
they're far from Houston, I think Detroit, and a lot of teams are lower than them. I said that is a problem for SGA, and some people said no, that's not a problem. And they'll if they play well, they'll try to contend. I mean, they're not trying to tank as much.
They can't contend, guys.
They'll try to tank as much. For me, just look at last year. That's gonna happen, and there's a historical basis already for this. We're not inventing things, and we're not in the guessing game anymore. If they continue to win and play better than expected, not injury. Yes.
Even if it's minor, they'll rest him for a lot more time. And they want to develop as well the other young players they have. And
Lou Dort,
that would feature players like Josh Giddey. I mean, obviously the usage with SGA right now for those young guys are lower than when they play without SGA. And it's just frustrating. I mean, if you have SGA, it's just really frustrating. It's even hard to trade him.
I don't know how to trade him. I don't know the value of SGA. Right? That one I don't know.
I mean, there was one trade that just was approved today, and it's SGA and Taylor Horton Tucker for OG.
That's a sneaky deal because Taylor Horton Tucker was probably just picked up from the waiver wire.
Yep.
Right? And so it's just basically SGA. It's just basically SGA for OG.
Yeah.
And OG was injured.
It's not a lopsided deal considering you have a player like SGA there. And it's a buy low thing for an OG who will miss probably a few weeks, right?
That's a good deal. That's a
good quick deal.
Yeah.
That was made. Because that was made yesterday, wherein we learned about OG could miss a few weeks or a few games.
And that was made before today's Taylor Horton Tucker game.
That was made before today's Taylor Horton Tucker. So, like I said, timing has a lot to do with trading as well. I mean,
I think we could segue to Taylor Horton Tucker as a worry player also. Yeah. But we already talked to you about him. I think you don't drop him. Don't drop him for sure. Give him 3 to 4 more games with LeBron. Russell Westbrook is also a worry player. Obviously, you already know that LeBron's back. His usage is going to go down.
Everyone would be a worry player with LeBron back.
Yeah, but this two will be the two that we're really gonna be worried about. Really, really worried about. So I think Taylor Horton Tucker not gonna be the Taylor Horton Tucker in the first 3-4 games. He's gonna probably be settling around 12, 14 points, 2 to 3 threes, something like that, which is still good. Still good. Just don't expect top 15 Taylor Horton Tucker anymore.
Definitely
when
not.
LeBron is back.
Definitely not. And I'd even be surprised if he makes it top 100. I mean,
yeah.
I'm not comfortable. Having said that, we know LeBron's old, and the only hope for Taylor Horton Tucker owners is that they win with LeBron, because the more they win, the more rest LeBron gets, and the more usage Taylor Horton Tucker gets as well. But the more they lose, the more time that LeBron spends playing.
This is the Kobe year. This is the Kobe, Steve Nash, Dwight year for LeBron. I'll call it. He's gonna carry this team to the playoffs, but he's gonna get injured somewhere along the way. Maybe not as grave as the injury of Kobe, but he's gonna have injuries here or there.
Yeah, because I think they are leaving him no choice but to play, because they've been playing bad. And today, they even played worse. They were leading practically the whole game. Right?
They lost by 22.
Yeah, and they lost by 22.
And to Dennis Schroeder.
They lost
to Dennis Schroeder. Unbelievable. But anyway,
and they lost it in the fourth. They just lost it in the fourth quarter, right? I mean, it was close all throughout.
The team doesn't look right. The body language, the chemistry, everything doesn't look right. And again, as I said, Frank Vogel, goodbye to you after this season. 100% sure you're gone after this season. Thanks for the one championship.
Yeah. Enjoy that. Anyway, buy quickly, just some buy players. Chris Boucher played well today, although I feel it's a little bit flukish because it was a lopsided win. I still think that his game would be up and down. Do you believe the hype?
No, right. I don't believe the hype.
No,
I agree with you 100%.
It's a very lopsided game. So
I watched the whole game because I was into Boucher. I finally picked up my first Chris Boucher, so I'm very excited. And then I saw how he's being used. He's in the rotation, but again, not many minutes. So today he was able to get the rebounds here or there and everything, but that won't be there every game because his usage is very, very low, guys.
And the opponent today was Sacramento. So yeah.
And in fairness to him, he's been trying to play the right way. He's not chucking up those 3-pointers as much anymore. Yeah. So that hurts him also fantasy wise because he won't have a lot.
Although his percentages are not bad.
Yes.
His percentages aren't as bad, even if he shoots those threes. Other by Chuma Okeke,
Cambridge
is another.
He's the ad. He's the ad there,
but we talked about Cambridge already the other day. After the OG news. Should be added. Chuma Okeke played his best game so far.
Look good.
I think Suggs also played his best game. One of our feel-good players.
I think it's an upside pickup. Chuma. If Suggs was dropped, I'm sure Suggs was dropped in some leagues because in one of our leagues, he was still available. So before today, but I was too late. Somebody picked him up. But pick up Suggs for sure. Chuma is a potential guy in a upside play in a 16 team. I mean, he's not a bad player. We know that. So what if this is a start of something?
Yeah, but again, I feel that the ceiling for Chuma is not too high. So don't expect very high ceiling.
But if you're in a 16 to 18 team or a higher league, any small gains that Chuma can do, it's already a win for you because you're getting basically useless guys in the free agency anyway. So I think someone to consider. One of the few in the waiver wires that I think has very high potential. Chuma
Okeke, and some specialists in case you need streamers. JaVale still playing well. Derek Jones still playing well. Derek Jones mostly really for the stocks.
The stocks.
And Hartenstein, pretty inconsistent, but at least you can get some rebounds here and there.
He's been playing well.
He's actually
well. He reminds me of Bobby Portis so much last year. off the bench, plays well. And then Clippers have a lot of garbage time special this year so far.
Yeah,
both ways, and he has been getting a lot of them. So Hartenstein is someone I can consider adding in 14-team leagues for the meantime, short term.
Yeah, and JaVale, of course.
Yes, similar
for the blocks in the field goal. If you need some better field goal percentage players, just quickly field good players. We talked about Suggs. Marcus Smart played well. Kristaps played well today. Zach Lavine and Jason Tatum. All solid players. I mean, no surprise players here. Are you surprised by any of these?
No one, not really. But Zach Lavine may be someone to talk about a little bit. He's very efficient scorer, much more efficient than let's say Devin Booker. I think he's probably gonna be close to Jason Tatum when it's all said and done in the rankings. But he's a little underrated still. So I'm very high on Lavine.
He is quite underrated. I mean, I don't own a lot of Lavines. But yeah, it's another player that I have difficulty drafting in the second round is Zach Lavine. Yeah. Maybe because I haven't really experienced owning him to say that, this is a good... he is in the same level maybe for me as a Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah,
I don't want to pick them too high.
They're safe. They're safe plays. And I usually go for those kinds of players, Donovan or Zach Lavine. I was not able to get Zach Lavine this year only because of where I was picking. No, because where I was picking, I was either too early or I was too late.
Yeah.
Get him in trades, but I haven't done it. But people were afraid of the Bulls, Lonzo and Derozan and Vucevic and everything. But we've seen it already. He's still the top man. He's still the top man for me. Derozan is playing well, but when it comes down to it, it's Lavine's team. I think it's Lavine's team.
And the give and take between Derozan and Levine has been good. I mean, no one's complaining. Everyone's still getting their share of usage. And both players can still, score. The good thing is, Lonzo doesn't really need to score. Yeah. I think that's the plus factor. I think the only casualty in this Bulls lineup is Vucevic.
You can say that. It's a casualty. It's the Luke Longley of this lineup. I mean,
it's the biggest casualty here, which no one really saw coming, right? I mean, everyone felt like it's gonna be DeRozan or maybe Levine, but no one really saw Vucevic as the guy who will suffer in this strong starting five lineup.
But you mentioned something before about looking at the last few weeks and months of the season, the trends there.
Yeah.
Vucevic, the last few weeks,
year wasn't good.
So the trend was there actually.
Since he was traded to Chicago.
He wasn't good. So maybe we should pay more attention to those, those trends.
I mean, later on in the season, probably we can talk about, which of these players had a fluke end or a real end to their season, right? I mean, there have been a lot this year. The Mo Bamba, the Miles Bridges, right? Who had strong year. The Wendell Carter Jr. also had a strong end last year.
Cole Anthony also. He was
decent.
better.
He had decent end last year.
He was playing better.
So these players, we saw last year some trend already, and we didn't expect everything to stick, but obviously some stuck, right, this year, and they've been playing well. All right, so that's it for our Saturday Quickie. Hope this was helpful. Hope the conversation was fun for you to listen to, and hope you guys have a good weekend of fantasy basketball. 2 days left before Judgment Day, and we'll see you again tomorrow. Bye, guys.